Good afternoon, everyone. Dobry dzień. This is pretty strange that I will speak in English, whereas our languages are so close, so maybe it would be better if I spoke Polish. But let's speak English because there are some people like you maybe would not understand Polish too much. So first of all, I would like to thank you very much. This is a very wide audience, so I will walk like this, so I can see everyone. So I would like to thank you, Bakotech, for inviting me here. This is a big honor for me and my company, BIMPoint. This is the first time in Kiev, and Kiev is close to my heart because my grandfather studied here in Technical University even before World War I, so it was long ago. Yes, and I will start with some general insights. So there was a subject of this presentation which changed a little bit. I'm an architect by education as well, so I'm a little bit an artist, I think. So this means that I had a better idea now than before, I think. And then Natalie Najczuk, my colleague from BIMPoint, will help me to present some of our projects. So first of all, I started my adventure with ArchiCAD very long ago in 1999. With ArchiCAD 5, I was on the first year of my studies on architecture, and I had this license, start edition, I would call it, license on the studies. There was no educational license back then. But I was, when I saw ArchiCAD for the first time, I thought, wow, this is amazing. Like in 2 years, maximum 3 years, everyone will work like this. Will work 3D, not 2D like in this other depressing black screen software that I don't remember the name. I think it was really amazing that I thought in two years, like this month, it's 20 years since I made this prediction. Okay, and the question is, where are we? Like, how many of us already work 3D, or maybe something more than 3D? So probably most of you, or some of you, know this curve. This curve is showing the implementation of technology over time. When the technology starts, like BIM technology started a couple of tens of years ago, then probably something like 15 years ago, we had this peak of inflated expectation. As everyone thought that BIM will solve all our problems. Then, of course, there was the reality coming, and are we halfway? Where are we, really? Let's try to answer this question. So this is these are the steps. I call it the levels of implementation of BIM. And this picture, I made it up partly, I would say, because this is an interpretation of a different picture that you might have seen, which is called an iceberg, where the tools, so T, like tools, is the tip of the iceberg of BIM. Okay, so this is a first step of BIM implementation. So when I started to work with Graphisoft, just after my studies in around 2005, I understood it exactly this way. Okay, buy ArchiCAD, and you will have this technology. You will have BIM. All your problems will be solved. Well, probably many of you have heard these managers saying, like, we do have BIM. We bought Revit. We have BIM. Equally false would be we bought ArchiCAD, we have BIM, because it's just the beginning. If you have a crane, it doesn't mean you can build a skyscraper, right? Okay, pretty obvious. I hope it will be less obvious in the next slides. Okay, then we have methods. Okay, so after 1 year already, I realized in 2006, 2007, I realized that tools is not enough. I cannot just sell tools. I have to sell also knowledge. So I started to train people, but I trained them methods. Click here, click there. So they already could climb this crane, turn it on, and take things from one place to another, but they didn't know what they were doing it for. So we went forward, and then we started to focus more on processes and sell practical knowledge. So how to solve practical issues of architectural offices. But after some time, I realized that this is still not enough, because processes are closed for our offices, and we have to communicate with our other partners, with structural engineers, with MEP engineers, maybe in the future with authorities, but not now, and probably not very close in the future. So then there is another step forward, and this is organization. So when we start to communicate different processes with each other, so we can actually produce from our process something that is useful for a different process, then it starts to be pretty interesting. And I would say that this is the place where we are right now, working with some big companies, public and private companies, which want to benefit from BIM. We could focus completely on investors right now. We don't try to work with general contractors. We almost don't work with architectural offices unless they ask us to do the training for them, but we don't try to actively sell them anything because they don't decide. They don't make decision in the process. You often don't make decision in the process. Why? You can make decisions about your own workflow, but not on the entire workflow in the entire process. So often our clients, architects, further back, like a couple of years ago, would say like, no one demands BIM from us. No one wants, even structural engineers don't want models. Maybe it's different for some of you, but probably for some of you, this is the case. So when we go to the organization level, I said it starts to be interesting because if you look over here, you can easily perform all those things in closed environment. But from this point, from organization point, you have to collaborate. So it means that you need something better. You can collaborate in ideal world for Autodesk. Everyone would work in a closed environment, and we could communicate. But the truth is, it will never happen. Woohoo! So that's good. And this is because of effort of companies like Graphisoft also. But the highest level is the level of culture. And now I would like to explain this to you, what is this culture, with a metaphor. So I don't know if you know this lady. Who knows this lady? Hands up. One. Okay. I would say that applause to this gentleman. Because this is a writer that won Nobel Prize this year. And her name is Olga Tokarczuk. Doesn't it sound Ukrainian? Okay, actually she's from Lower Silesia in Poland. She's Polish. But Lower Silesia is the region where many people from Ukraine would be transferred after World War II. So probably her ancestors are from the East. And Olga Tokarczuk made me think about the meaning of literature and the ability of literature or of culture to transfer meanings. So if we look at these couple of primitives, like points and lines, let's compare them to letters. Okay, these are the letters. Do they make any meaning if they are without any order? Not really. But if we put them in order, then we have a cube. And a cube is a word Okay, so if we put letters in order, then we have a word. Does it transfer a lot of meaning? Not really. This is just a cube, it can be a sphere, it can be anything, but unless we put it in order or in a relationship with different things, it has not much meaning. If we put a lot of primitives next to each other, and I have a missing slide here, so I will just explain to you, then we can have a window, okay? And let's say if it's a window of or a door, it's already a sentence. I am a window. This is a door, yes? And if we put it in a wall or in a building story or somewhere else, it can tell a story. It starts to be a story, more complex sentences. But let's look right now at this story, and we can see that there is a structure. So let's say that the structure is the main plot. I'm sorry, architects. Main plot of this novel that we are building. We can build another plots around this this concept, but they have to be aligned with each other to tell a real nice story. Of course, there can be many cases. Different buildings tell their different stories. If you look like, sorry, this is a different story, but if you look at these old buildings, they are a little bit like old novels. They have a very clear structure and not complex. And if you look at architecture, new architecture, you will see that the ideas are sometimes crazy. So this is a mistake, I think, but it tells some story. This is our office in Krakow. Well, this is one example of an interesting story. Or this is a very strange story from 1970s in the city of Kielce in Poland. These are all models that we created. Oh, this is a completely different story, but it's still a story. It's a story of power facilities that can be modeled in ArchiCAD, like that. And to be able to build these stories and exchange these stories, we need a common language. Common language which is sort of a translation between what we say as architects and structural engineers say, but this is just a language. It's practical. It's like English. It's quite practical. I can come to Kiev and speak in English. Most of you understand most of what I say. But this will not build a story. This will not build a novel. We are responsible to build a novel, and we are responsible to put the meaning in our models. So before we switch to live presentation, where we would like to show you just a couple of maybe interesting buildings models that we created. I'd like to tell you one more insight about meaning of and implementing BIM on high level, where maybe technology is not much of a help. I mean, it helps, it is a support, but you struggle with something completely different, something more powerful, which is culture, exactly culture. Because culture are values. Culture is if people are honest or not, if you can trust people or not, if they are responsible or not, if they respect each other or not. And this is amazing, but it seems that this is very important if you want to implement technology in a really broad manner. And this is what we experience working with public companies, working on a government level, where sometimes things like that people rather compete and not always honestly compete, make this implementation of technology very difficult. I think this is the reason why Scandinavia is a region where BIM is so well established, because of their business culture, because of how they work together. And of course, you can take a shortcut, like UK. You can say, let's make BIM mandatory. But anyone who worked in UK knows that it doesn't work the same way like it works, for example, in Norway or Denmark or Finland. So, and now this is all I wanted to tell you. I hope this wasn't too generic. Maybe you expected something more technical, but this is what really we struggle with right now, not technology. It's been many years since ArchiCAD already is good enough to do most of the things that we need. It's been many years since ArchiCAD, Revit, Tekla, and other softwares can collaborate, can make it enable collaboration. Now we have to learn to collaborate. And now I would like to show you with Natalie some of works, and to make it easier for you, Natalie will speak Ukrainian, because Natalie is Ukrainian. And Natalie is working with us in BIMpoint. And just last thing is that I would like to apologize that we picked such a talented person from Kiev and took her to Kiev. Kiev. Yes. Kiev, I'm trying. Yes. I could speak. Yes, I'm trying. But I must say that it's a little bit pay of debts, because my great-grandfather moved from Kraków to Bila Cerkwa. Excuse me, gentlemen. No, but Kiev. Okay, he moved to Kiev. Okay, no, he moved to Bila Cerkwa, and he was a blacksmith, and he established a workshop there, and it was in 19th century. And this was the reason why my grandfather studied in Kiev. And then, of course, revolution came, and he had to move back to Poland. I mean, not back to Poland, because he moved from Austria-Hungary, and then history is crazy in our region. But anyway, he was quite successful here in Ukraine. He built, changed his workshop into a factory, really, a forge factory. So I hope that many people who are so courageous, I'm not, to move around the world like Natalie will also be successful. So let's hope for that. And now I will switch to BIMX, and it will be funny because I will be showing on BIMX, and Natalie will make comments and I will not understand anything.
Так, сьогодні я розкажу трошки про технічну частину нашої презентації, тобто про безпосереднє використання програми ArchiCAD для збудування BIM-моделей, а також комунікації між проєктними групами і замовником. Наразі застосовуємо дуже багато додатків, які підтримує компанія Graphisoft. І для того наша робота не має жодних перешкод для продукування таких моделей. Першим проєктом є, власне, модель електротехнічної станції, що знаходиться поблизу Варшави. Дуже складний проєкт, створений на базі лазерного сканування. Плюси лазерного сканування в тому, що можна виготовити об'єкт, що має самі найрізноманітніші геометричні параметри у точності до кількох міліметрів. Дана модель вміщує в собі трансформатори, як показано на презентації, також вежі, електротехнічні вежі, дуже багато апаратів і струмопроводів. Найцікавішим в цьому проєкті, хоча ж він є досить таким технічним, є саме використання моделювання об'єктів, тому що зазвичай в ArchiCAD моделюємо стіни, стелі, там, вікна, такі речі більш прості. Так. А в даному випадку використовуємо дуже багато програмування, тобто GTL, і комбінуємо в елементи, які містять у собі повну інформацію BIM, те, що потрібно для замовника, те, що можна використати пізніше для управління окремими елементами на даному об'єкті, а також виконання модернізації. Сам проєкт має 14 гектарів, досить великий, і кожен елемент поєднаний між собою теж певною інформативною базою. Наприклад, так як можна побачити, навіть кожен струмопровод містить у собі навколо себе такий об'єкт, як електромагнітне поле. Це такий собі віртуальний об'єкт, з якого можна побачити, як функціонує станція, і з якого замовник може зробити певні висновки для себе, для того, щоб зробити певні зміни. Наступний проєкт, який ми хотіли би показати, це водонапірна вежа у місті Вроцлав. Цей архітектурний об'єкт був створений на початку 1900 року. І одним з ключових важких питань, які потрібно було розв'язати, це виготовлення 2D-документації, яка складається з досить складних елементів колон і також балок. І для того, щоб саме найважливіше в цьому проєкті є те, що ми не можемо використовувати жодної 2D-лінії. Для того, щоб виготовити 2D-документацію, потрібно дуже сильно постаратися, скомбінувати елементи, які має в собі, базові елементи, які має в собі архікад, і створити щось таке, щоб це виглядало, так як ми, архітектори, знаємо, має виглядати план або розріз, або 3D-модель. Сама вежа має досить багато елементів балок, які мають різну форму. Деякі з елементів можуть бути з певними дефектами, і для того це теж ускладнює працю над моделюванням. Але за допомогою застосування фотографій, які ми отримуємо від сканерів, ми можемо відтворити досить докладну модель кожної будівлі.
I would only like to apologize because the streaming is not so fluent, but it is fluent over here. So we can later, maybe during the break, you can see those projects on iPad or something if you are interested. But right now it's because of the streaming. So this is how it will be.
Так, сама вежа має висоту близько 63 метрів, має досить просту структуру з точки зору геометрії. І наступним проєктом буде млин. Млин, що знаходиться у селі неподалік міста Лодзь. Сам млин є зараз пам'яткою архітектури. Загалом в компанії ми відбудовуємо досить багато архітектурних пам'яток, тому що вони зникають, вони потребують реконструкції, вони потребують інвентаризації. І дана модель досить детально зроблена, і кожний елемент відтворений так, як він є насправді, з використанням текстур і детальним вимоделюванням всього, що вміщує в собі всередині даний об'єкт. Сама конструкція складається з колон і балок, і теж однією з таких технічних моментів, що може бути складним при застосуванні архікада, це те, що кожен елемент завжди дуже рідко стоїть рівно до землі, так щоб якби він є нахилений у всіх трьох площинах. Для того, щоб створити кожен об'єкт, треба досить багато часу і енергії, тому що кожна частинка, кожен елемент будівлі буде містити в собі інформацію, він повинен бути логічно сформований. Тобто він повинен мати параметри, геометричні параметри, такі, як вони є насправді, плюс з використанням інформації такої, як покриття або якісь неточності, які пізніше можна використовувати, наприклад, при реконструкції даного об'єкту. Зараз ще покажемо пару елементів з 3D-виду даної моделі і внутрішню частину даного об'єкту. Тобто модель створена досить реалістично. І, звичайно, містить усі.
There should be some information in this model.
Так. Містить усі необхідні інформації.
Юрек, Natalia, we really have to move on.
Yes.
I see that you have a lot of interesting things.
I was actually waiting for you when you call us to ask questions to people if they want to ask questions. So I have. So Julia said that for the most interesting questions, there will be some prizes, I think.
I will
or even
let
for all of them
to ask you 2 questions and then you will choose a winner. So
okay.
I saw already 2 hands.
Okay, so 2 questions. And the most interesting will be...
Dzień dobry. Ile panu zajęło zmodelować tego wiatraka?
Czy mam w związku z tym odpowiedzieć po polsku?
Питання звучить так, скільки по часу займало моделювання даного об'єкту?
To oczywiście to nie mnie, ale o ile pamiętam, to było około jedna osoba to robiła i około tygodnia czasu pracowała nad tym modelem.
Так, дана модель була зроблена 3 особами в періоді 1 тижня. Одна особа зробила це в період 3 тижнів, так?
Добрый день, я отсюда. Спасибо, очень красиво. Скажите, пожалуйста, каким образом эти все инструменты, модель интерпретируется потом в BIM-элементы? Есть ли какой-то механизм прямой, то есть, если это, то то, да, условно. Либо это нужно делать как-то потом вручную, либо есть какой-то комбинированный механизм. Есть ли какая-то прямая связь?
So if I understand well the question, you're asking if we manually change the build models, or is there any automated way?
How many automatic way are used in this process?
So we tested practically every automatic way that there is at the moment on the market. And in most cases, automatic ways and correcting it later takes more time than doing it manually. So we do it semi-manually. We use, I don't know if you've heard about BIM M tool. This is a German solution add-on for ArchiCAD that can then lets you import point clouds into ArchiCAD in a smarter way, and then with several clicks define, interpret elements inside ArchiCAD. So this is a quite fast workflow, I would say, but it is manual. Because the problem is that we need to not only define the geometry, because this is simple with automatic ways, but then we have to add meaning and information and manage information. So this is why we do it mostly manually at this moment.
Прием. То есть вы дополняете информацию потом вручную, а часть ее заходит автоматически?
So we classify elements, and then based on classification, the information is at least the containers are automatical, and values, some are automatical and some are manual.
So, Юрек, what question was the best?
Both were super interesting.
Okay, we will
okay?
do both of them. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
We will move on.